Well, acceptance is a very powerful word to me. A lot of it's because when I was growing up and when I was a kid, I dealt with acceptance. It was such an important thing to me. I wasn't very cool, I wasn't very popular, and I was kind of awkward. And so I tried really hard to make the popular kids like me. I tried really hard to just get anybody to like me. I mean, I tried everything. I was in Boy Scouts. I was in just all sorts of activities at school, played soccer, played football. I tried everything. And just so people would accept me. And since I was kind of awkward and I was kind of weird, it always seemed to turn around and bite me in the butt. It would just turn into more ridicule and more bullying and so on and so forth. And all the way through until about high school, halfway through high school, I kind of started getting over that. But even still, I was still really, really cared about what other people thought of me. And even into my young adult years, I was really preoccupied with myself. I was really full of myself and arrogant. And I mean, I went through a point where I spent anywhere between $150 to $300 a week on brand new outfits, whether it was a brand new pair of shoes with a new shirt, a whole new ensemble. I mean, you name it, I spent my money on it. I just wanted to look cool. I wanted people to think that I was cool. I wanted people to think that I looked good and things like that. So I really cared about those superficial things, those little cosmetic things that don't really actually matter, stuff that you can't even take with you when you die, you know? So anyways, you know, and I think about those days, and I think back to when I was about 19, 20 years old. I was driving by this church on 192 in Kissimmee, back when I lived in Florida. I was driving home to visit my mom, which she lives about 2 hours from south of Orlando. And I'm driving home, and I was driving by this church, and on the billboard of the church it said, "If you're too full of yourself, you don't leave enough room for Jesus." And I remembered that because I thought it was kind of funny. And back then, I really wasn't a follower. I was Catholic, but I didn't really practice, and I wasn't really a follower and things like that. Didn't really know who Jesus was. I just knew of Jesus. I knew a couple things that I've heard my dad talk about in the Bible and things like that, but I didn't really know. And so, anyways, you know, I lived a lot of my adult years, you know, away from Christ, and I was very self-centered, and I was very arrogant and very full of myself. Because of that, I wasn't able to accept myself. I was never good enough for a lot of things. And even I was in and out of relationships. I was in and out of friendships constantly. And a lot of it was because either I wasn't good enough for someone, so I would cause myself to sabotage relationships with great people, or I would meet people that I just felt like they weren't good enough for the circle of friends that I wanted to have. So I would shun them, and I would just kind of push them away. And a lot of it was just because I didn't accept myself. Now, it wasn't till a few years ago when I finally accepted Jesus Christ. It wasn't until I felt God truly accept me till I was able to truly accept myself. And it wasn't till then. It wasn't till that moment when I accepted Jesus Christ. And it was all that need and that void that I had for people to accept me was truly just me needing Jesus in my life, me needing God in my life. So when I finally accepted Jesus into my life, God accepted me. And from God accepting me, I was capable of accepting myself. And when I finally was capable of accepting myself, I was able to accept others. And I stopped caring so much about what sort of activities you were into. I stopped caring so much about what kind of clothes I wore. I mean, I'm to the point now where, you know, I do like to dress nice, of course. I mean, who doesn't? I have favorite colors. I do have favorite brands and things like that. But I don't go off spending $300 on a new outfit every week anymore. You know, every once in a while I may go buy a new shirt because, you know, I see a shirt that I like and, you know, yeah, I want to have it and stuff like that. But I want it because I like it, because I accept who I am. And a lot of it's the only reason I'm able to accept who I am is because I accept Jesus and God accepts me.